أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربي زدني علما أجمعين آمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to LQ Milton. Alhamdulillah, class number 38. We are on lesson 3 of book 2, where basically we are learning three most important concepts. A concept of ismu tafdeel, the superlative degree. We'll do some exercises today on superlative degree, and we are also learning about lakinna and ka'anna. What is the meaning of lakinna? But. In Urdu we say lekin, so remember from that, lakinna, but. And ka'anna means it looks like, or it appears, look like, it appears. Lakinna and ka'anna minal akhawatil inna, they are sisters of inna. And what do we know about inna? Inna enters and it will make the mubtada mansub, and it will be ismu inna, and the khabar will become khabar inna marfu. We know that. So whatever inna does, lakinna and kanna do the same function, because they are minal akhawatil inna, they are sisters of inna, so they do the same thing, right? So when they enter into a jumla in a sentence, we have to look for ismu lakinna and ismu ka'anna, and ismu lakinna and ismu ka'anna will be mansoob. And after that, once we identify the ismu lakinna and ismu ka'anna, we will be looking for khabar lakinna and khabar ka'anna, similar to inna. Okay. La'alla, la'alla is also sister of inna, same thing. La'alla means I hope, or hope. La'alla, again we have to look for ismu la'alla and khabar la'alla, and ismu la'alla will be mansoob and khabar la'alla will be marfu, right? And la'alla, we know, comes in the Quran, and it has two emotions hiding behind la'alla. Okay, one is, it is called at-tarajji or al-ishwaq. When it is coming in the meaning of al-ishwaq, it means fear. I fear, or the person is fearing about something bad's going to happen. And then when it comes in a concept of at-tarajji, then it is glad tiding, or you're hoping something good. in the sentence. So remember at-taraji al-ishfaq, even though this is not the topic here, but since we have touched upon lalla in I think lesson number 2, it's a good reminder. Another concept in lesson number 3 we are learning is ismu tafdil. Allahu Akbar. What is akbaru? Allahu Akbaru. What is akbaru? Ismu tafdil. And kabirun, big, akbaru, biggest, right? And in the last lesson or in the last class, class number 37, we touched upon how in English grammar we have big, bigger, biggest, and then in Arabic language we have kabirun and akbaru can, when it comes into a comparison or a comparative degree, then we say bigger, and then when we say when it is not comparative and it is coming as superlative degree, then biggest. And how do we identify when the ismu tafdil is comparative? When it comes with min. There are exercises, we will do some exercises in the lesson. This is just a quickly fresh reminder. Now, ismu damirun muttasilun, attached pronouns. What do we know about attached pronouns? They can attach themselves to anything, right? They can attach themselves to an ism, they can attach themselves to a verb, they can attach themselves to a harf, right? And when they attach to an ism, they will perform a function of mudafale. When they attach themselves to a verb, then they perform a function of mafulun bihi, okay? And when they attach themselves with the harf, depending on the function of the harf, for example, if it is harf jar, then they will perform the function of ism majroor. But if they are attaching themselves to lakinna, what would be their function? Ismu lakinna. Because the damirun muttasilun attached pronouns are basically nouns, right? Pronouns, form of a noun. So if I say lakinnahu, what is hu? Third person, singular, masculine, but he. Lakinnahuma, lakinnahum, lakinnaha, but she. Lakinnahuma, lakinnahunna, lakinnaka, but you. Masculine, singular. Lakinnakuma, lakinnakum, lakinnaki, but you. Feminine, singular, second person. Lakinnakuma, lakinnakunna, lakinnani, but I. Lakinnana, but we. Remember? Hu huma hum, ha huma hunna, ka kuma kum, ki kuma kunna, right? Ya mutakallim and na. We have done those 14 damirun muttasilun, the attached pronouns. We have done that. They can attach themselves to anything. They cannot come on their own. They have to have something like a magnet to attach themselves, and depending on the function the harf is performing, they will perform the corresponding function. In this case, hu huma hum, ha huma hunna, ka kuma kum, ki kuma kunna, ya mutakallimin na, they are all performing the function of ismul lakinna. And what do we know about ismul lakinna? They are mansoob. But if instead of lakinna we are talking about harf jar fi, fihi, fihuma, fihim, fiha, fihuma, fihinna, fika, fikuma, fikum, then the damirun muttasilun in that case would be performing a function of ism majroor, and we will call them majroor in a majroor form. They are all mabni. even though there is a dhamma on hu, but my mind knows that since it is attached to lakinna, it is mansoob, because hu huma hum, ha huma hunna, ka kuma kum, ki kuma kunna, ya mutakallim and na, they are mabni, static. They do not change their form, they do not decline like a noun, like a normal noun. Muhammadun, Muhammadan, Muhammadin. I know for some of you this is a repetition, but sometimes repetition is good to refresh our mind. Ka'anna, looks like, same. Ka'annahu, ka'annahuma, ka'annahum, ka'annaha, ka'annahuma, ka'annahunna, ka'annaka, ka'annakuma, ka'annakum, ka'annaki, ka'annakuma, ka'annakunna, ka'annani, it looks like I, ka'annana, it looks like we or us, right, or us. Here hu huma hum, all these damirun muttasilun are playing the function of ismu ka'anna and they are mansoob, so remember that. We will come to these later in the class. Right now we just wanted to, so best thing is to write down the conjugation and then try to understand them. When I say ka'annaka, it looks like you. Ka'annahu, it looks like he, somebody who is third person, singular, masculine. So keep that in mind. In the last class, class number 37, we had finished the main lesson. Now we'll do some exercises where we will try and practice ismu tafdil and the concept of lakinna and ka'anna. Exercise number 1, ajib anil as'ilatil atiyati, answer the following questions. Now we have done the main lesson, so we have to answer from the lesson. Kam taliban fi fasli Ahmad, how many students in Ahmad's class? How many students? Tis'ata ashara taliban, fihi tis'ata ashara taliban. Number 2, kam taliban fi fasli aliyin, how many students in Ali's class? Arba'ata ashara talibun. So we say in it fihi arba'ata ashara talibun, it has 14 students. Number 3, man atwalu talibin fi fasli Ahmad, who is the tallest student in Ahmad's class? He said Ibrahim, so we say atwalu talibin fi fasli Ahmad is Ibrahim, Ibrahimu. And the last one is waman atwalu talibin fi fasli aliyin, and who's the tallest student in Ali's class? Atwalu talibin fi fasli aliyin, Hamid. Hamid was the tallest student, right? Yeah, Hamid was the tallest student. So this is very easy. We have to go back to the main lesson and try and find the answer. Exercise number 2, da means put. Now da is fi'lu amrin. We have not done the fi'l amr, the verb of the order, which is very frequently used in Quran. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders something, he used fi'lu amr. Okay, and very soon we will learn about it. And when there is an order, then there is no if and buts. Remember that, right? Then there is no if and buts. Okay, you have to either follow the order or not, and you don't have any option, right? So once we learn about fi'lu amrin and we identify fi'l amr in the Quran, I recommend stop there and think what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering and take it to the grain of salt. Like, I don't have any option here now, that's it, I have to follow this, right? When we say qul huwallahu ahad, but what is this qul? This qul is felu amrin. So this is an order. And just a bit of more information, when we order somebody, can I order somebody in a third person? No. If somebody who's not present here, I cannot order that person a third person, right? I cannot order myself. So you always order somebody who is in front of you, second person. Okay, so just imagine when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and it's just an off topic, but qul, so the file here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but he is addressing to anta, us, directly in front of us, like as if he is talking to us in a second person, ordering us. Qul, you say.
Most of the time Fi'l Amr comes after Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, and then you this directly.
Yeah, perhaps Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, and then Fi'l Amr, perhaps. So you only order somebody who is a second person. So when in our salah, just think about it now. Since we know about the mirun muttasilun, most of the time we are using second person pronouns. Just go back and think about it. And when Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in his hadith, the summary or the gist of it is, when you pray, you're praying in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You imagine that, or if you cannot imagine that, at least know that Allah is watching you, He is in front of you. So if we are standing in our salah, we are using the second person pronoun most of the time. Rabbana lakal hamd, right? So exercise number 2, let's go to lesson. Put hazal alamat, the check mark, amam al jumla sahiha, in front of the correct answer, correct answer. Wa hazal alama, and this sign, the cross, amam al jumla allati laysat sahiha, which is not correct. Number 1, at-talibul jadidu allazi ja amsi, the new student who came yesterday, ismuhu, his name is Usama. Yes, correct. Hamid fi fasli Ahmad, no, that is not correct. They are in both in different classes, so we put the cross mark there. Al mahja'i saminu ghurafahu usau, no, that is not correct, because al mahja'il khamisu, the 5th hostel was spacious, not the 8th hospital. And number 4, al mahja'ul saminu ab'adu min al mahja'il khamis, the 4th, yeah, that is correct. The 8th hostel is further than the 5th hospital, the hostel. Now comes interesting exercise number 3. Read the following example regarding ismu tafdil. What is ismu tafdil? Superlative degree. Hashimun tawilun. Now how do I translate this? Hashim is tall, tawilun mean tall. In English grammar we say tall, taller, tallest, right? So what is the ismu tafdil of tawilun? Atwalu, on the pattern of af'alu, on the pattern of af'alu. Baidun ab'adu, saghirun asgharu, right? We have done that. Jadidun aj'adu. So Hashim is tall, Hashim is your mubtada, tawilun is your khabar, wa hamidun atwalu minhu, Now stop here for a second. We know atwalu is used, which is ismu tafdeel, but is it coming as a superlative degree or a comparative degree? Comparative, because min comes, but Hashim is tall and Hamid is taller than him. Now min, normally min means from, but when it is coming for comparison, then we say than him. So Hamid is taller than him. Now I am not using tallest. I think in the last class we determined when we are doing the comparative degree, we use the second degree in English grammar, and then we are doing it as alone, then we will use the third degree. Next one, Aminatu saghiratun wa Zainabu asgharu minha. Right? Amina is small and Zainab is smaller than her. Minha, than her. Now let's do the exercise. Hazal kitabu ashalu min zalika. Hazal kitabu ashalu min zalika. This book, sahalun, easy, ashalu, easier. And what is the third degree? Easiest. Now since ashalu is coming with min, so we say easier. This book is easier than that. Haza is your mubtada. What is the grammatical value of al kitabu? Badal. And where is the khabar? Ashalu. Min zalika is your jar majroor. Shibu jumla. That's it. Number 2. Hazihi sayyaratu. Hazihi sayyaratu. This car. Ajmalu min tilka. You see how Dr. Saab is using haza and zalika and hazihi tilka, masculine, feminine. So these are all things to watch for. We have already learned these concepts, but just watch for these small little things. This car, ajmalu, more beautiful than that. Number 3, Hamzatu akbaru minni sinnan. Hamzatu akbaru. Hamza is older. Now I tell you why I am using the translation older here, not greatest or bigger. Sinnan, because of the years. Minni is older than me in age or years. Minni is than me. What is the grammatical value of sinnan? Tamiz, right? What is the function of tamiz? Now these are all the concepts we have learned in the past, but from time to time when they come in, we keep repeating them so that they stay in our mind. The function of tamiz is they are singular. Number 1, they are mansub, and the function is for them is to remove the ambiguity. When I say come, how many, then your mind is wondering how many what? How many chairs, how many tables, how many dollars? So if it is how many dollars, we say come dularan. How many dollars? Now dularan is tamiz, is singular, and is mansub, remove the ambiguity. Now I know I'm talking about the dollars here. So sinnan is tamiz here. Number 4, haulai tullabu ahsanu min ulaika. Haulai is your mubtada. What is the meaning of haulai? These. So which means these students, are close to me, near to me, right? Because this is ismu ishara lil qarib, right? These students, ahsanu, better, good, better, best. Now since ahsanu, hasanun, Ahsanu. Hasanun means good. Ahsanu, better. And since it is coming with min, so it is comparatively ahsanu min ulaika, better than those. Better than those. It is important for us to identify the ismu ishara lil qareeb and ismu ishara lil ba'id, because in Quran haulai and ulaika comes all the time. Okay, and just to put things in perspective, most of the time when we read the translation, the person who's translating would not distinguish between ismu ishara lil qareeb or ismu ishara lil ba'id. Sometimes you will see ulaika is translated as these, or most of the time, or I don't know, I've seen most of the time it's those. And when we say those, that means they are far. Ulaika allazina ishtaru wad dalalata, ulaika allazina ishtaru wad dalalata, right? In Quran it comes in Surah Al-Baqarah. These are the people who have bought, these are the people, that's how they translate it. No, those. And there is a logic behind it. See, the verse chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you have to think about it, are very precise, up to date, and each and every word is like a gem fitted into an ornament. When you translate ulaika as these in this ayah, that means people that were at that time, which were there, they would buy the dalala, however you want to translate a dalala. But Allah subhanahu, there were people who had done this thing in the past, there are people doing them right now in present, and there will be people in future who will do that. So you cannot translate ulaika as these. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if Allah would meant that, he would have used haulai there. He didn't use haulai. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used ulaika. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used those, that means past continuous. Haulai tullabu ahsanu min ulaika, these students are better than those. Number 5, baiti abadu, baiti my house, abadu anil madrasati min baitika, my house is farther from the school than your house. Farther, samajh bhai? Right? Yeah, farther than your house. Number 6, huwa asgharu minna sinnan, huwa asgharu. Now again sinnan is coming, which is tamiz, right? He is younger than us in age. Number 7, that was a point I have to go check in Ambai, but that was a good point. You said ya ayyuhal lazina amanu, and after that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala most of the time use felu amar. You checked on it? Okay, so this is, I didn't know that, so this is a very good find. After ya ayyuhal lazina amanu, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use felu amar most of the time. So the impact of the ayah now changes. Now reading the translation would not give you that flavor.
Scholar said whenever he says
Yeah.
he gets alert.
You get alert. And yeah, exactly. And ya ayyuhal, and ya is also used for second person, because ya means oh boy. Your ayyuha is ayyu, and ha is a harf to attract the attention. I forgot the grammatical name for that. I'll find out, but it is no, harfun nida is ya, but ayyuha, I forgot the grammatical term for ayyuha, but ayyuha is to attract the attention of a person. Ya ayyuhal lazina amanu, and then fi'lu amr comes after that. So reading translation would not give us this flavor.
Following the orders can only be done by the people of who has a iman.
Yes, yes, people who have iman or yeah,
They are the one who
yes,
can submit,
talking to us,
submit
talking to us,
to us.
yeah, directly in second person. Number 7, khatti ahsanu min khattika. My handwriting is better than your handwriting. I cannot say that to you, Inam bhai. That's not true. Number 8, haza sha'ri'u anzafu min zalika. This street is cleaner. Okay, we don't want to say cleanest because we have identified our own rule, cleaner than that. Number 9, al-labanu ahsanu min ash-shai. The milk is better than tea, but not in the morning, before the class. Jazakallah. Number 10, hazihi sa'atu arkhasu min tilka. This watch is cheaper than that. Okay, so now here ismu tafdil is used as comparative degree. Okay, now that we know that, move on to exercise number 4. Kawwin jumlan fil kalamat al atiyati musta'milan ismu tafdil. So kawwin means make sentences from the following words using ismu tafdil: Hashim, Tawilun and Usman. So first we have to convert Tawilun, the way we do it, Tawilun into superlative degree, and then use it as comparison using min. Let's do that. Okay, Hashimun atwalu min Usmana. Because Usmanu is diptote. Al mamnu min as-sarf, right? It forbidden to decline. So Usmanu, Usmana and Usmana. So min Usmana is majroor here. Al Kahiratu akbaru minar Riyadi, right? Kahira is bigger than Riyadh. Hazal funduku, this hostel, hotel. Anzafu, cleaner, min zaka, from that. Al lughatul arabiyatu, the Arabic language. Ashalu, easier, is easier, min al lughatul faransiyatu, lughatil faransiyati. See, min comes, min al lughatil faransiyati, from French language. Number 5, ana kabirun huwa. Okay, ana akbaru minhu. Jazakallah. See, now we can say min huwa because we have to use a proper pronoun for huwa. So we say minhu. Ana akbaru minhu, I am bigger than him. Huwa saghirun anta, huwa asgharu minka. Anta will become ka. Huwa asgharu minka. Ar-rijalu aksaru minan nisai. Men are more than women. Now here in number 8, either we can use anta or anti, both, because we are talking to a second person. So let's use anti. Anti ahsanu minni, from me, you are better than me. Al mawzu arkhasu minal inabi. Al mawzu means banana is cheaper than the grapes. Ash-shamsu abadu minal qamari, right? The sun is farther than the moon. So that is easy. Write them down. Number 5. Now this is in lesson in exercise number 5 we are not using comparison here. Muhammadun, let's take a look at the first one and then see the changes that happens in the sentence. Okay, Muhammadun talibun hasanun. Muhammadun is mubtada. Where is the khabar? Talibun. What is the grammatical value of hasanun? Not, right? The grammatical value of hasanun is not. So now keep this sentence in mind. When I change this hasanun into a superlative degree, which is the best, ahsanu, then the khabar talibun will become mudaf alayh. That's all you have to remember. Okay, the khabar will become mudaf alayh, and I tell you why. There's a logic behind it. So first we do the sentence, then we'll understand the logic, because these grammatical rules have some sense attached to them. Now I am moving from hasanun to ahsanu. I say Muhammadun ahsanu talibin min al fasli. Oh, fil fasli, sorry, fil fasli. Muhammadun ahsanu talibin fil fasli. What happened to hasanun? Ahsanu, superlative degree, and the khabar which was talibun will become talibin, right? Fil fasli. Now when there is a mudaf alayh, we are talking about al idafa, the possessed and the possessor. The possessed and the possessor. So when I say best students, who's the possessor? Students. And what is the thing that they possess? Is the best, right? So here, since I'm changing from not hasanun to the superlative degree, then I'm creating the relationship of al idafa here.
Best quality belongs to the student.
To the students. So Muhammadun is the best student in the class. Next one, for example, Haza Baitun Jamilun. This is a beautiful house. It's very simple, right? But Jamilun will become Ajmalu. Haza Ajmalu Baitin fi Shari'i. This is most beautiful house in the street. Most, not more, most beautiful house in the street. Who's the possessor? Bait. What is the thing that the house possess? More beautiful. Mudaf alayh. Aminatu talibatun saghiratun, aminatu asgharu talibatin fil madrasati. Now we know the concept, we can easily do that, right? So let's do number 1. Haza ghurfatun saghiratun. This is a small room, right, Nambai? This is a small room. Hazihi ghurfatun saghiratun. This is a small room. Hazihi asgharu ghurfatin fi baitina. This is the smallest room in our house. Bilalun la'ibun hasanun. Bilal is a good player. Hasanun, good player. Bilalun ahsanu la'ibin fi farikina. Farikina means in our team, right? Bilalun ahsanu la'ibin. Write it down. Writing will make you perfect. Bilalun ahsanu la'ibin fi farikina. Number 3, Yasirun rajulun faqirun. Yasir is a poor man. Now, but I want to say Yasir is the poorest man in our neighborhood. Okay, so Bilalun sorry, Yasirun afqaru. Faqirun will become afqaru. Yasirun afqaru rajulin fi qaryatina. Hazihi asatu rakhisatun. This is a cheap watch. Hazihi arkhasu sa'atin fis sawki, in the market. Cheapest watch in the market. Haza darsun sahalun. Haza ashalu darsin fil kitabi. This is the easiest lesson in the book. Ad-dukturu Zakaria tabibun shahirun. Ad-dukturu, the doctor, your mubtada. Zakaria, what is the grammatical value of Zakaria? Badal. And what is badal can be a substitute. Okay, so let's translate this sentence just to remind what badal was. Ad-dukturu Zakaria tabibun shahirun. The doctor Zakaria is, shahirun means famous, is a famous doctor. Now remove ad-dukturu from this sentence. Zakaria tabibun shahirun. Zakaria is and which is true. Remove Zakaria from the sentence. Ad-dukturu. Now al comes, that means I am talking about specific definite noun, right? The doctor, and I am talking about Zakaria. I am pointing towards Zakaria. The doctor is this doctor. That the doctor is a famous doctor. So badal, this is a litmus test for recognizing the badal in the sentence. Ad-dukturu Zakaria ashharu tabibin fi baladina, in our city. Al-azharu jamiatun qadimatun. Al-azharu aqdamu jamiatin fil alami. Al-Azhar is the oldest university in the world. Al-ustazu Nu'manu mudarrisun hasanun. The teacher Nu'man is a good teacher. Al-ustazu Nu'manu ahsanu mudarrisin fil madrasati. Write it down. Writing will make you perfect. Number 9. Haza darsun sabun. Sabun means difficult. Okay, this is a difficult lesson. Haza sabun will become asabu on a pattern of af'alu, right? Now, since in this exercise we are not using the superlative degree in a comparison, so we are using in English grammar the third degree, right? That's what we're doing. Haza darsun sabun. This lesson is difficult. Haza sabun will become asabu. Haza ashabu darsin fil kitabi. This is the most difficult lesson in the book. Haza faslun wasiun. This is spacious class. Haza awsa'u faslin fil kulliyati. Number 6. Okay, number 6 is about lakinna. What is the meaning of lakinna? But, right? What are we looking for when lakinna comes? Ismu lakinna and khabar lakinna. Okay, so let's go through some examples in the exercise and try to figure out where is ismu lakinna and khabar lakinna and do the exercise. Number 1, at-talibu kasirun. Al-faslu saghirun. Now, using those two, Dr. Saab is saying at-tullabu kasirun, lakinna al-fasala saghirun. So there are more students, but where is the ismu lakinna? Al-fasla, not al-faslu, because we know ismu lakinna is mansub. Lakinnal fasla saghirun, but the classroom is small. Hamidun Mushtahidun Sadiqahu Kaslanu. So now we are going to say Hamid is hardworking, but his friend is Kaslanu, lazy. So Hamidun Mushtahidun Lakinna. What happens to Sadiquhu? Sadiqahu. Sadiqahu Kaslanu. Now where is the ismu lakinna? Sadiqa. Wahuwa mudaf, and who is your mudaf alayh? Where is khabar lakinna? Kaslanu. Kaslanu. Okay. So let's make the sentences. If we don't get the concept, let's move on, make the sentence from the exercise. Muhammadun tawilun. Muhammad is tall. Hamidun kasirun, and Hamid is short. Okay. Now we want to bring in lakinna in these two sentences, saying that Muhammad is taller, is tall, tawilun tall, but Hamid is short. So bring lakinna in there. Muhammadun tawilun, that remains the same. That's not going to change. Muhammad is tall. Now bring but lakinna, and what will happen to Hamidun? Hamidan. Simple. Kasirun. But Hamid is short. Aminatu Mushtahidatun. Amina is hardworking. Ukhtaha Kasla. Her sister is lazy. Kasla is the feminine of Kaslanu. Okay. So Aminatu Mushtahidatun. Amina is hardworking. Lakinna Ukhtuha will become Ukhtaha. Ukhtu become Ukhta, because Ukhta is ismu lakinna mansub, wahuwa mudaf, and ha is your mudaf alayh, and where is khabar? Lakinna kasla. It is marfu. It is marfu. Dammatil muqaddara. We have done that. We'll learn that.
Is it mansub because it becomes maf'ul in this case?
Ukhtuha become Ukhtaha. No, because lakinna comes, and the ism that follows lakinna will become mansub, because it is now ismu lakinna, just like inna. So ukhtuha, which was ukhtu was marfu, was mudaf, and ha was mudaf alayh, but now I don't say ukhtu here, I say ukhta, because it is now ismu lakinna. It is now ismu lakinna. But it's a good question. Haza darsu tawilun huwa sahalun. Now this lesson is long, it is easy. Now I want to say this lesson is long, but it is easy. Haza darsu tawilun, that remains the same. Haza is your mubtada, ad-darsu is your badal, tawilun is your khabar. Lakinnahu sahlun, but it is easy. Who is your maf'ul? Yeah, who is your ismu lakinna? And it's mabni, and it is mansub. You see, lakinnahu, it is ismu lakinna.
I just have a good question. Sorry, I just so the number 3 where it says Aminatul Mujtahidun, the lakinna doesn't it change to lakinnaha? Because we're talking about
No. If it will only change into lakinnaha if right after lakinna comes hiya. If after lakinna comes here, then we can say lakinnaha. But here a proper noun is coming, ukhtu. That's why we say ukhta. Got it? Yeah. Okay, where were we? Number 3. Number 4. Sayyarati qadimatun. My car is old. Here, now see, now Faraz bhai question, we are going to answer your question now. There it is. Here kaviyatun. Now I say lakinnaha. Dr. Saab, don't miss anything. Faraz bhai? Okay, so yeah, sayyarati qadimatun, my car is old, lakinnaha qawiyatun, but it is powerful. Yeah. Okay, number 5, akhi mutazawwijun, my brother is married. Ana azabun, now what do I say? I want to bring lakinna here. So when I say lakinnani, but I am a bachelor, ana will become ya mutakallim. Lakinnani azabun, akhi mutazawwijun, my brother is married. Lakinnani azabun. Ibrahimu faqirun, Ibrahim is poor. Ummuhu ghaniyun jiddan, his uncle is very rich. Now bring lakinna, ammu will become umma, right? Hu ghaniyun jiddan, ammahu ghaniyun jiddan. Baituka jamilun jiddan, huwa saghirun, baituka jamilun jiddan, lakinnahu, but it is small. That is true. Number 7, ka'anna, we left something?
I'm sorry.
No. Baituka jamilun jiddan, your house is very beautiful. Innahu saghirun, but it is small. Number 7, now we bring ka'anna, it looks like, right? It looks like. Now ikra'ul misalaini, read the examples and then we'll use it. Man hazal fata, who is this young fellow? Man hazal fata, fata means young fellow. Ka'annahu akhuka, it looks like he is your brother. Ka'annahu akhuka, where is ismu ka'anna? Who? Is it mansoob? Yes, it is mansoob. It is mansoob. Where is khabar ka'anna? Where is khabar ka'anna? Akhu. Akhu. Wahwa mudaf and ka is mudaf alayh. Mudaf alayh. So it is easy. So whenever ka'anna or lakinna comes, we have to look for ismu ka'anna or ismu lakinna and khabar ka'anna and khabar lakinna. Number 2, man hazihil tiflatu, who is this little girl? Ka'annaha, because we are talking about a girl. Ka'annaha ukhtuka. Now ka'anna, where is ismu ka'anna? Ha. Where is ha is ismu ka'anna, mansoob. Where is khabar ka'anna? Ukhtu, wa huwa mudaf alayh. Simple. And when we say ukhtuka, it means possessed and possessor. Possessed and possessor. Al-idafa. Now let's do the exercise. Huwa zamiluka. Now he is your colleague. Now I want to say looks like he is your colleague. Rather than saying he is your colleague, I would say looks like he's a. So I would bring ka'anna. Ka'annahu zamiluka. Hiya tabibatun. Ka'annaha tabibatun. Hum tullabun. Ka'annahum tullabun. Anta maridun, you are sick, looks like you are sick. Ka'annaka maridun. Ka'annaka, looks like you are sick. Huwa mudarrisun jadidun, he is a new teacher. Ka'annahu mudarrisun jadidun. Now in all of these sentences, the damirun muttasilun is your khabar ka'anna mansoob, right? Anti ukhtu Maryamu, ka'annaki ukhtu Maryamu. So these are simple. Number 8 and number 9 are numbers, and number 10 and 11 we have already done those in the last class 37, where we talked about the cardinal numbers, ordinal numbers, and for for our purpose in class number 37, just go through. We learned what we needed to learn for numbers. We don't have to go into too much detail because our focus is to try and understand Quran. So we don't have to go in each and every little small detail about numbers, how the feminine and the masculine changes, and when the tamiz comes and when it becomes mudaf alayh. It's going to confuse us. Yeah, it's going to confuse us, and there is not too much value into it. In the next class we'll finish lesson number 4. It's a very small lesson, it's a very easy lesson, shouldn't take us long. In book 1 we have few more minutes. In book 1, most of the time we were dealing in the nouns. Dr. Saab rarely touched verbs in book 1, maybe 1 or 2. Now starting lesson number 4, verbs will start to appear in those lessons. Okay, but in our class we have been practicing verbs while we were learning book 1. We were doing that so that we are prepared for verbs when they come. Now in lesson number 4, Dr. Saab is going to introduce us Zahaba and Raja. We already know that. We've already practiced it when we were doing book number 1. So that's why lesson number 4 will be very easy for us. What is the meaning of Zahaba? He went. Where is the file? Mustatir, hidden. Taqdiruhu huwa. Estimation of it is he. Zahaba, Zahaba. Where is the file? Alif is the file. Zahabu, where is the file? Waw is the file. Zahabat, where is the file? Mustatir, taqdiruhu hiya. This ta is the tau tanisi. This is not the file. This is representing that it is feminine. Zahabata, alif is the file. Zahabna, noon is the file. Zahabta, zahabtuma, zahabtum, zahabti, zahabtuma, zahabtunna, zahabtu, zahabna. Ta tumatum, ti tumatunna, tuna. They are all your files. So when I say zahabta, you went. Zahabtu, I went. Zahabna, we went. Zahabat, she went. Zahaba, he went. And we know when I'm talking about Zahaba, I'm talking about a masculine, singular, third person. This is the most important thing to remember in verbs. Verbs, when they come in, we should immediately identify 3 things. What is the verb? File, who is the doer? Is it a second person, first person, or third person? Whether it is singular, dual, or plural, or it is masculine or feminine. These 3 things. And it's easy. They are in the verb. When I say ta, it means masculine singular second person. Ti, feminine second person singular. Tuma, dual. Tum, plurals. Right? So they are in the verbs. So this is Zahaba. In lesson number 4, Dr. Saab is introducing 2 verbs, Zahaba, Raja, but we already know them. We already know where are the files. We already know we are talking about the masculine or the feminine or singular, dual, or plural, or it is first person or second person. That we already know these things. So going forward, book 2 will be easier for us because we have introduction. Raja, what is the meaning of Raja? He returned. He returned. Right? Raja'a, Raja'a, Raja'u, Raja'at, Raja'ata, Raja'na, Raja'ata, Raja'tuma, Raja'tum, Raja'ti, Raja'tuma, Raja'tunna, Raja'tu, I returned, Raja'na, we returned. Right? So we can take any verb, and we are talking about Madi, past tense. We had one class on Fi'l Mudare, only one class I think. I forgot the class number, but we will practice some more fi'l mudari in the coming classes. You can take any verb fi'l madi and conjugate the 14 of them using the same die. Zahaba, raja'a, jalasa, jalasu, jalasat, jalasata, jalasna, jalasta, jalastum, jalastuma, jalastum, jalasti, jalastuma, jalastunna, jalastu, jalasna. Any verb. Hu, huma, hum, huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, tum, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahanu. Right? That's the 14 pronouns, the detached pronouns. Inshallah, we'll finish our class. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha, laha ma kasabat wa alayha maktasabat. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ.